Backs in college who do not have a lot of receptions, are not known as receiving backs, or just haven't put a lot of receiving film on tape are regarded normally as lower end backs who go in the later rounds. We have one of those examples today as Kaelon Black is one of the Indiana Hoosiers running back. He's taken, honestly, Twitter by, now I want to say taking Twitter by storm, but taking Twitter by storm of a lot of people love this cat coming out of Indiana. He played at the Senior Bowl. He looks good, and today we're going to break him down on tape, go over everything we need to for this breakdown. If you want to see more breakdowns like this in the future, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, all sort of fun shit down below. Let's get straight into it. Kaelon Black played 16 games this season. Obviously, they won the national championship. They went 16-0. Congrats to him. He had over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, a 5.6 yard per average, 4 receptions. Yes, only 4 receptions and 36 total yards. Kaelon Black is a 5'10", 208-pound running back out of the University of Indiana. Technically, he's like 5'9 3/4, but we'll give him the 5'10". He is 23 years old. He played multiple years at JMU. He did have a better receiving year at JMU. He's been with Curt Cignetti his entire career. Therefore, he has played in the Curt Cignetti offense, which is, as we've seen this year and in past years, very RPO heavy, which again affects the running backs more than anything because they're normally used in that run-pass option, not leaving a ton of attempts on the board. Even his running mate, Roman Hemby, did not have that great of a receiving year this year in standards compared to other backs this season. In 16 games, he had 17 receptions for 165 yards. This scheme does not appease to receiving backs. So I don't want to say Kaelon Black, because he had 8 receptions in 2 years, can't catch the ball, but that is a big knock on his statistics so far, just going over that. And again, we're not going to see it in film because he wasn't very, I mean, we have one catch to look at in film that I saw that he's getting utilized here. It's far and few between. There's not many catches to go over. He seems like a decent back from the Senior Bowl at receiving the ball, but again, this is a knock on his stats. Now, again, going over, they have the number 3 ranked blocking grade in the Big 2025. Again, Indiana won the championship. You expect them to have a really good O-line unit and blocking wide receivers. Competition was solid. I mean, obviously, they played the Ohio States, the Bamas, the Oregons, Miami. They played Penn State. They played Michigan State. They played Iowa, Illinois when they were top 10 in the country back in week 4. They played some good comp, and we're going to go over some of that in today's video. Now, again, the main 3 games we picked out. Again, we always pick out 3 games to play. Now, I don't have the footage from the playoffs. I know. Absolutely sickening stuff, and I wish I had that for Kaelon, but we don't have it off the top. We have Purdue, we have Illinois, and we have Maryland. Those are going to be the 3 games we go over. Now, again, these are middle of the pack and back the pack. Purdue's in the back of the pack, 133rd in the country, damn near last. How do you do against a rushing defense like that? Illinois, 55th, actually on the top end of things. Not a bad defense to look at. Maryland, 83rd, pretty much right in the middle there. Again, there's 136 teams in D1A, so that's how you base it. 1 bad defense, 1 pretty good defense, 1 good defense. Again, they were top 10 in the country in Illinois. So let's hop into the film and see how he does. So we're going to start with the worst defense here in Purdue. Again, 133rd in the country. They are one of the worst rushing grade defenses in the entire country. And again, he was a running mate to Hemby. So again, they are going to split touches. He's not going to have 20 plus carries in games. He's not going to have any insane stat lines because he did split a lot of touches. But we can go over what we see straight up on film. He is a very downhill runner for someone his size. Again, 5'9", 208, pretty stocky frame, as you can see. Again, I feel like his upper body, we always talk about proportions in these videos. And again, lower body is where you want the wider proportions to be for running backs most of the time. But he seems like a very just solid player all around. Maybe a little bit upper body base, but pretty good base all around on his frame. Feels like the typical running back we've seen come out of the past few drafts, which is always good to see. The one thing I will say, I mean, we can see it right here. He seems like a really good run blocker. I didn't check his PFF run blocking grade, but in the film we watched, like, this is a defensive tackle. And he's about 5'9 3/4 and 208 pounds. He's not afraid to go against anybody. He will step up and chip anybody, go head to head with anybody. And this isn't like a Travion Henderson situation last year where he just lowers his shoulder and just hopes. Like, he sits down and he squares up And this is not just one example. This happens all the time in this film where this, like, he's just not afraid to block. Is he going to win every block? Absolutely not. He's, again, 5'9", 208 pounds going against 300-pound defenders, but he's not scared of any sort of block, which is always really good to see on tape. And again, out of a Cignetti offense, you kind of assume that's going to happen. Here we go. Here's one catch out of the film we see. Out wide. Put him on a hitch route. You can't mess this one up, big dog. There we go. Honestly, I wish he turned and ran off the field. I mean, look, nobody's there. Puts his foot in the ground, he goes. He literally might score. But we'll take the few yards out of that quick read. Gets through the hole, and he's going to fight for it. Again, he's a feisty back. This is why people like him. His burst is great. I like his burst. His burst through the hole is awesome, and he's not afraid to put his head down, and he always ends up falling forward. He's a guy who puts his head down and drives his legs. I mean, you can see him drive right in the end zone there. Again, good frame, gets low, puts his head down, and gets up the field. I like his running stature, right? He runs. We talked about this last time in our last video. If he runs not straight up, right? We don't want to have runners that run straight up and have their torso exposed, right? We want runners that have a forward lean to where you're hitting their shoulder pads. And he seems like he does a good job of that. Obviously, we're going to pull around here for a power and not going to have much going there. But again, he follows his blockers. His vision's pretty solid. In this offense, what you see a lot of is, honestly, we don't see a ton of inside zones. We don't see a ton of freelance running from him because a lot of it's drawn up through the RPOs that are instilled in this offense, which is something interesting to note. But again, literally not afraid of a soul in the blocking game. I don't highlight blocking a lot, but this motherfucker is flying down, and he's just going to hit a brick wall. Oonce. Again, is he going to win every rep? No, but Kaelon Black is not afraid of anything. Not afraid of anything. He don't care if this linebacker, I don't know if it's a linebacker or DB. I would assume a linebacker here in this spot. Flying down, don't matter. Stick it right to him. Give Fernando the time he needs to almost throw a pick, but that's not his problem, right? Gets up to the line of scrimmage. This is the biggest thing. A lot of running backs that we see drift back when they're pass blocking. Horrific stuff. Horrific stuff. Like, actually quite literally might be the worst thing I ever see, because guess what happens when your quarterback steps into the throw? Hand on the helmet, cooked. So him stepping up, delivering the blow. Again, is he going to win every rep? No, 100% not. Again, he's a smaller back, but the fact that he's willing to stick in there, put his head down and square up is good stuff. Here we go. Same play we saw earlier. Let's get him outside. Let's get him moving. Again, way to get through the hole. Wish he could stick on his legs, but, you know, good run nonetheless. His vision's great. I mean, I really like his vision. He's great at cutting off the asses of linemen. We talk about it all the time. You want to stay as tight as possible to your lineman, and he does a great job of that, right? He doesn't drift too far. He's going to cut right off his ass. And his agility is good. I mean, we'll see it here in a few plays, but he has great agility for someone as stocky and as downhill as he is as a player. Again, a little indecisive with his footing there because he tries to do a skate tech. Again, skate tech, we've gone over this, is going back and forth pretty much your legs like you're skiing, right? Right? And he gets into that where he would normally cut off of it, gets shedded, and now he's in a really sticky spot where he's trying to make a juke move with his legs too wide. Just really awkward there, ends up getting tripped up. But not too much you can do in that situation when your lineman gets absolutely shedded. Kaelon's second catch, by the way, I know I said earlier he had one catch. He actually has 2 catches. These are 2 of his 4 catches on the entire season. Boom, check down right there. Put your shoulder down, big man. Here we go. Now we can see some of the agility out of Kaelon, right? Scoot through the hole, good vision. Oof, sheesh. Good spin there. Again, great patience by him. In this offense, you need to wait for blocks to develop, right? And he does a great job of this, pushing down, watching him come out, and as soon as he sees that, look at this tiny hole he's fitting through. Whoop! And then a great spin move. Great spin move. Awful effort by the DB. Like, you're squaring up with dude. Look at how far your feet are, big dog. Look at how far your feet are, big dog. You're never making a tackle like that. Great move by Kaelon nonetheless. Here we go. Same play as earlier. Again, try to get him outside. Great job of breaking a tackle. And he is, again, the vision for him is probably one of his best things here. Like, look at the holes that he just fits through. Pause. Right? Gets through, shakes a tackle, get off me. I like the way he runs the ball. Great burst to get through the hole there. Right? Great burst. That's what we're looking for here. Choom, get out there. Right? See the hole, hit the hole. This is you're not letting this one develop, right? This one's not, like, you see the X stunt, you're hitting it. Boom. Again, what the fuck this is, I could not tell you. What decision went in his mind to try to hurdle there with 3 dudes right here? Literally could not tell you. Like, I could not tell you. Either try to make a move outside him where you have a blocker coming here and it's a one-on-one there, or put your shoulder down and try to get a few. Doing this is actually insane. I mean, shit. All right, let's move to the next play. All right, now we got Kaelon versus Maryland. I just want to say this, watching film, this is going to be a 97? No, so wrong. 93-yard drive. Fernando doesn't throw the ball past the line of scrimmage on this drive. Fire. Kaelon, put your head down, kiddo. Let's get some yards, right? He has great leg drive. It's true about his game. He's great leg drive, right? Puts his head down and just keeps the leg. Watch his legs here. Puts his head down and his legs just never stop moving. It's a good trait to have as an RB. It's a good trait to have. I got, again, another inside zone here. Actually, it's a duo. Apologies, right? Work up to the next level. Oh. Bounces off him, but look at the leg turn. Legs keep moving. We get more yards. There we go. Way to burst through that hole. Way to burst through that hole. Right? Good burst. Put your head down. Keep it moving. Follow that H-back. Here we go. Big play here. Out of the pistol. Outside zone from the pistol. Ooh, baby. Put your head down, big fella. Oh, my God. Yeah, you don't want to see none of Kaelon. Bop. Right there. Great run. Great run. And again, look at him. This is, I don't know why it's like my favorite part of his game. And I'm going to be very frank, I don't have the pass blocking grades baked into my player evaluations. And you're probably like, God, why would you do that? Because we see time and time again players being picked off the board in from college that are not great pass blockers in college. That like get picked higher than players that are good at pass blocking in college because it's a teachable thing, right? Now, I think there's things that are unteachable and teachable, and I think pass blocking is one of the most teachable things you can do. But in the same light, you can't teach like not being fearless, right? And someone like Kaelon is literally like the only thing that's striking a fear in him is God, as like he has guys coming straight at his fucking mitt, and he's a wall putting his head down. A absolute wall putting his head down. Boom. Here we go. Next running play. Good vision. Way to bounce it outside. Right? Good work. Good jump cut. Grab his ankle. Wish we could see a little more of that. Dude, when you see 0 across here, this is like my favorite thing to like run as an OC. Right? We're literally just going to run slot fades. Now, what I like is slot fade here, slant underneath, right? Give him a quick target if the slot fade gets broken. Also kind of causes a natural pick, too, which could easily break for a touchdown. But they're going to run a hitch and fade here, right? Get him to get the ball out early. Doesn't complete it. Like, it doesn't get shown, obviously, but great play call. Getting through the hole. Good cut. Good cut. Love to see that. Again, he's a really good one-cut move here that he uses all the time. Right? That little stick he does. Does a great job. It gets tackled by the ankles often, but nothing really you can do about that outside of... There we go. There we go. Look at the flash of the camera. Again, get off me. Bounce it outside. He's not the fastest guy in the world. Like, let's be, as much as I like him so far, he's not the fastest. His burst is solid, not great. It's good. Like, I like his burst. Like, I like his aggression. What's going to sell a guy like Kaelon in the draft is going to be, one, his vision, I think, is great. And I think his footwork is pretty solid. I mean, he's also, again, he's a vet. He's been playing for, I think, 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. He's 23 years old. Right? Again, good burst. And he's not afraid of anything. I think that's another thing. It's like, this cat literally will go hit anybody. And as a running back, that's like what you love to see. Also, doesn't have fumble issues. Like, he's just like, I don't want to say like a Blake Corum-esque player. That's kind of like what he is, though, and I don't want to comp him to Blake Corum because I think they're different players. But I think like it's just a fundamental guy that you can have in your offense that you can trust to take some carries while they're still serviceable pass blockers, you know? And I think that's kind of the role that he's going to fit in. He's not a receiving back. He's not going to be a break-it-go ball guy that you can put on the outside. He's going to be a consistent back that you can rely on to come in and relieve some pressure of your RB1. I think that's probably going to be his role. Now, again, could he pull a Kyren Williams? Sure, probably. But we haven't seen the pass catching, so I don't want to put him in a party like that and say he's going to be a great pass catcher when we saw 1 year of productivity as a pass catcher and it wasn't anything insane, you know? So, again, if you want to get Indiana's team in a nutshell, watch these two plays. Like, they're just, this is their entire scheme, right? Again, this is top 10 in Illinois they're playing. Right? RPO, bang 8. RPO, screen. Like, this is what their team is built on. And guess what we're going to do? No RPO, let's take a fucking shot. One-on-one. Buddy falls down. Here we go, outside zone. Oof, right in the kneecap. Great shot by this linebacker. Great shot through the hole. Like, he read this like a book. Came flying down. Holy shit, dude. Watch number 3 get rocked. Fernando just threw the most hospitable ball I've ever seen. Wow. Oh my God, dude. Hold on, let's watch it in full speed. Bang, bang. Boop. Bow. Holy shit. Fire. A little indecision here, right? He should just stick his foot in the ground and go right through. Right? Like, you're going to stick. Boom. Follow up the ass. A little bit of indecision there. Ends up costing him a few. Still falls forward. Again, he always falls forward. That is positive. Fernando throws a touchdown. Next. Hand off here. Breaking a tackle and get moving. Most of the time, first contact doesn't bring him down. He has pretty good contact balance. Again, that also helps with the forward lean that he runs with naturally. He's a little bit of a bigger body, stockier body with his height and weight. Here's the run we're looking for, right? Here's the run we're looking for. Fernando holds that D end. He's able to get through. Kaelon! Okay. Again, no breakaway speed here. We know your limitations. Great hold by Fernando. That's entirely Fernando. All right, way to get through. Again, solid agility. Like, when he leans with it. Like, one thing we don't see is the fucking arm sticking out. Thank God. Wish he could have just kind of hit this and gone, you know? Like, I wish we could have seen him kind of reel this in a little bit. Instead, he kind of pulls out, almost like into the defender. But, again, there's different tiers to speed and everything. Here we go. Good burst through the hole. Way to get a few. Not much there. But again, he fits through the tiny crevices that this line represents. And that's what makes a good running back, a great running back in the future. And this one, you could fit a Mack truck through, and that's what he's going to do. Find his way into the end zone. Great burst. Great hole. Horrible pursuit. And he's going to go. And he's going to go. Again, no real crazy burners, but he's got good burst, man. I mean, he's solid burst. There it goes. Get through the hole. Good patience. Good vision. Let's fall forward. All right, and that's going to do it for the film side of Kaelon Black here. As you can see, it's a different day. I recorded that video on Kaelon Black about a week ago now. So I wanted to make something to where you're not just seeing graphics on the screen all the time for these final rankings and whatnot. So that's why it took a while for this video to come out. But for now on, we're going to be flying through these videos because as you can see on your screen now, I have a rankings sheet, a real rankings, almost like it's like a draft guide. But for running backs, we're going to do wide receivers, and obviously we're going to do quarterbacks in this year's class. But as you can see, these are the grades I have now of the running backs so far that I've went through. I haven't got to a few. These will probably be done by the end of the week, but I'm going to make videos on a few of these guys that I really, really like, and some of these grades will change. This isn't final product as of right now, but I'm still working on it. And as you can see for Kaelon Black, his grade was a 6.59 out of 10. Overall, I think he was a solid prospect. I don't think there's anything crazy. I think really what it comes down to is his footwork, his burst. He cleans it up well. He's very similar to a Kaelon Allen, just a little bit under the Kaelon Allen because he's a year older. I think he's just one of those polished backs that can come into an offense and be productive if he's in the right scheme. But obviously, if he's put into kind of a dumpster fire, he's not going to be the talent profile to kind of just make anything happen. So I think if he goes to the right place between his patience, his footwork, his vision, I think it's all there. His contact balance is really good. He's an explosive back out of the backfield. Doesn't quite have the long speed, but he's an overall very polished back that I think can do solid things at the next level. Is he going to blow our socks off? No. Is he going to blow us away? Probably not. But I think he can contribute depending on where he lands. Again, very similar to a Kaelon Allen in that sort of a sense where I don't think he's going to be a world beater, but I think he's skilled enough to where he can be definitely productive in the NFL if he goes to the right spot. So he lands a 6.59 grade out of 10. If you want to see the other grades, obviously you can see it on your screen as of right now. If you have questions, drop them down below. Again, none of these are really, the ones you've seen videos on are finalized, but the other ones that you haven't seen videos on are not quite finalized, but they're pretty close. But as you can see, we're going to go through, and obviously Nick Singleton's injured and whatnot, but we have different grades for everyone. You can see the team record, strength of schedule, strength of record. You can see their PFF run block rank for their team. That's their team run block rank. There's also the schedule for everything they played against for the ranked defenses. There is stats for these. There's my scouting grades, and there's obviously their career stats down below. So it's a really cool product we're going to be using going forward that I made out. If you guys have any questions or you want to see specific backs that are on this list or not quite on this list, make sure to drop them down below, and I'll get to them next time. Thank you as always. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.